What's up, everyone? It's your girls Christina and Vanessa hooking you up with what you need to know to level up.
Welcome to today's video. We have a special guest, our nearest and dearest, and my husband-to-be. This is Al. Drumroll, please. Oh shit. Alchu.
What's up?
What's up?
So today's video is going to be on entrepreneurship and how he applies that in the tattoo world as a tattoo artist. So before we get started in today's video, we're going to introduce Al through the HBL way with 3 questions. Question number 1, Al, what are your book smarts?
I wouldn't say I have too much formal book smarts, but yeah, I got through a little bit of school, but I never thought that was the most important aspect I needed for my lifestyle.
So second question might be more appropriate, or what are your street smarts?
I think I'm more comfortable being dropped in a foreign place and kind of making it out on my own than throwing me in front of a book and telling me to do a test. So
True definition of street
Yeah,
smart.
I don't know. I've always just been more inclined to learn on my own, I think.
Cool. And the last question for you is, what does hustle mean to you?
I think hustle kind of comes with, I don't know, you should always just kind of do it no matter where you're at with it. Let's say if you're working a full-time gig and you're doing it on the side and just trying to advance your art or your craft or whatever it is, I think you just need to always work on it, even if it's after hours, until you can make it into a full-time gig like this.
Those are really good points. Awesome. So let's talk about being a full-time artist and actually getting paid for it. So there's this terminology that, the starving artist, but how do you make it all work?
I'm still starving. Just kidding. It's okay. I have a sugar mom. No, it's definitely it's definitely a little tough at the beginning for sure. Trying to make enough so I didn't feel like she was handling all the heavy lifting, but it's getting to a point. I think if you work hard enough, you can get to a point where it does become a little more sustainable and not so stressful. But it takes a lot of effort and takes some time. Just gotta be persistent, I think.
Persistence. Yeah, good word.
Good word. Persistence.
Awesome. So our next question for you is,
Yes, dear.
your background as an artist. Prior to becoming a tattoo artist, you are actually working in the corporate world in the oil and gas industry as a drafter. And then you transitioned and made that leap of faith kind of jump into this new industry. How was that transition for you, and can you speak to maybe some of the challenges that you had during that transition?
Yeah, I don't know. Now that I look back, I guess I did put a lot of effort into it. Again, I was drawing a lot after hours, like just trying to progress. But I don't know, half of it felt like hard work, half luck, and just, the kind of universe aligning type of thing. But it was definitely tough at the beginning. But at the same time, it felt almost natural when I jumped into tattooing as a tattoo apprentice. I don't know, I felt really at home when I started. But, that's when I knew it was kind of right, because it was just like a super easy transition. Like the money thing was obviously stressful, but I felt right at home for sure.
So what do you think are the natural qualities to make it as a full-time entrepreneur or tattoo artist?
I think you just have to want it enough. I think your ambition needs to be there, and you gotta have a goal to reach. Otherwise, you're gonna be taking a lot more time, I think, finding those goals. If you have like a solid path in mind, it's easier to just take it one step at a time and just tackle it, I guess.
So talking more about your style, Al, in terms of an artist, what style of tattoos do you naturally gravitate toward, or one of your favorites?
Definitely like Japanese stuff, kind of between, there's kind of a new school Japanese and an old school Japanese. Old school is definitely more timeless. stuff that's been carried over for the last couple hundred years, maybe even more. I do like that, and that's where a lot of foundation for tattooing is. And I think it's really important to try to capture that essence. But at the same time, I think I'm naturally more an illustrative artist before I got into tattooing even. So I do want to stick to the traditional stuff to learn it. Like, I want to learn down pat before I kind of progress and put my own twist on things. But I guess what I'd say my style is right now is illustrative Japanese.
What's the old school, like what imagery is the old school Japanese?
So there's a lot of imagery in the Edo period where it's called Ukiyo-e, woodblock prints.
Oh, okay.
I believe it stands for the floating. Shit, I don't know what it is.
We'll Google it.
But a lot of imagery from that. Like, there's definitely a lot of themes, and like they draw a lot of the imagery from Japanese folklore or history. So it definitely captures that time period, I think. So you'll see a lot of that in the imagery. Definitely a lot of color schemes and like color palettes or whatever was available at the time. So a lot of that's carried over, I think, from that period. So
Cool.
it's very distinct for sure. You can tell old school from newer stuff for sure.
So what if someone asks you to tattoo something that is out of your style? Like, are you still at a point where, or can you say no, or?
I can say no. I definitely try not to. I think it helps like broaden your horizons and kind of introduces you to techniques that you wouldn't otherwise try when you're kind of stuck in a particular style. I don't think it's bad. I definitely do try to put as much effort into it as possible. Even if it's something I'm not as into, to them that's their tattoo at that moment, so it means everything to them. So I definitely try to put as much effort as I can. I do recommend that people go to artists that do that particular style instead of reaching out to an artist and trying to make them get into something that they might not be as good at as someone that has is an expert in that style.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's good. That's best for the client too.
Yeah. For sure.
That's awesome. This is all awesome advice and really insightful knowledge about the different types of tattoos that you can do. So before we let you go though, can you let us know how we can best connect with you?
Easiest way is to just find me on Instagram. I pretty much have my portfolio up there. It's Al Chu Tattoos. Pretty easy to remember.
Sweet.
Or you can check out the Flipside page on Instagram as well and check out all the other artists that are there.
Cool. Awesome. Cool. So there you have it, everyone. There's a little bit of education on tattoo arts and the history of it, as well as the entrepreneurial side of the business and how to get started into a business, but also how to sustain a business. A little bit of insight into how Al does it. So thanks very much, Al, and my husband-to-be, to be part of this video with us. It's such a special episode. And let us know what you think of Al, but also your thoughts on this video and any challenges or strengths that you've had when you started your own business or thinking to. So keep us in touch, and the HBL way as we outro as per always is...
We out!